Hello everyone! So today's video is going to be about how to become a group exercise instructor. I figured this would be a good idea just to be a resource for anyone who might be thinking about becoming an instructor and doesn't know where to start. So here are just some tips based off of my personal experience, and hopefully this can help you out as well. I know when I was just thinking about becoming an instructor, something like this would have been very useful to me. So here we go. So the first step is kind of obvious. You want to decide what format you want to teach. Nowadays there are a billion and one different group exercise formats out there. If it all depends on what you're into and kind of what your preference is. So if you are looking at more of a dance type fitness, then you might want to try Zumba or mixed fit. If you want maybe a more relaxing format, then definitely yoga or Tai Chi or bar. Or if you want something with more high intensity, maybe kickboxing, lift, or pound might be a good one. Or if you want to do some type of circuit workout, then boot camp or Tabata are good options for you. So what I recommend doing is, if you're unsure about what format you want to teach, definitely go out and try different formats so you can decide and see what you like. Now, before you go out to your training to get certified, you want to budget, because different trainings and certifications can cost anywhere from $100 to $1,000, like, not even kidding. So in addition to deciding what format you want to teach, your budget might also be an indication of what format you want to teach, and it can also just give you an idea of how much you need to save up before you pursue a training for that format that you want to teach. So once you've decided what group exercise format you want to teach and you have your money ready to go, you want to find a training. So most fitness formats require an individual training. Like in my experience, I teach Zumba and I also teach Pound. So these are two formats that require that you go to an all-day training in order to be certified to teach that format. For whatever format you want to teach, go on their website, and they usually list trainings that you can go to. They have them all over throughout the United States. Some of them have trainings in other countries, and they happen all the time. They schedule new ones all the time. So search through the trainings, find one that's near you. And search through their website, find a training that works for you, something that's nearby, or I don't know, you can travel farther if you want to, depending on where your training is. Make sure you factor in travel time and hotel accommodations if that's something that you're going to be doing. Also factor in parking, that's also a big deal. And so once you've decided on a training that looks good for you, then go ahead and sign up for it. And usually, you'll get a confirmation email, and then whoever is leading the training, whoever is the instructor leading the training, usually a couple weeks before the training, they'll send out an email just letting you know what to expect, everything that you're supposed to bring, and any other instructions that they might have for you. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you really want to teach this class and you don't see a training that is nearby, you can always request them to have a training in an area that's closer to you. They might have a contact email on that page, or I'll go to their contact page or something, and just ask them, just send them a message like, hey, can you have a training at so-and-so place? And alright, so now I'm going to tell you a little bit about what a training is like. So, like I said before, I teach Zumba and I teach Pound, so that's kind of the perspective I'm going to be telling it from. Other trainings might be different, slightly, but I feel like they usually follow the same basic form. So these are going to be all-day trainings usually. So you want to factor in being there up to 8 hours. Bring food, bring snacks, bring towels or change of clothes. Like, you'll be doing a lot of moving. So to start out, your instructor, they'll do introductions and things like that. And what might happen is that you'll do a short demo class with the instructor. That happened when I did at least 2 of my Zumba trainings. I have 3 Zumba certifications in Basic 1, 2, and Pro Skills. So we did a demo class for a couple of those trainings, and then for Pound we also started out with a demo class. So it more than likely won't be like a full hour-long class because there's a lot to get through during the day, but you'll definitely do a few songs with the instructor just to get everyone moving and get everyone hyped up. And so, yeah. During the training is theory. So this is where you're going to learn everything about the format that you're going to be teaching. So you learn what it is, how it was invented, and you'll also learn the basic fundamentals of the format. So the building blocks, the basic moves, things like that. The next section will be a movement section, so the instructor will walk you through all of the different types of moves that you use during the format. So for example, with Pound, there are 4 core positions that you use during a Pound class, and so we walked through each one of those and different moves that you will use in each position. In Zumba, there are different rhythm styles, so things like salsa, merengue, tango, reggaeton. So you learn the basic moves of each of those. At your training, you're definitely going to talk about theory, and you're definitely going to talk about the basic moves. You might do a practical section, or you might not. During the Zumba training, we did have a practical section. During the Pound training, I don't believe we did. So for the practical session, you might be paired off into groups or with partners, and you will practice putting together moves and just kind of practicing in a small group setting, and just kind of pretending that you might be in a little class, or pretending that like you're the instructor, just to get you into the mindset of being an instructor and putting together moves. Finally, at your training, you're going to receive materials. So these can be anything from training manuals and DVDs, or the DVDs with different with DVDs that go over everything that you've learned, and have routines for you, or music that you can use later. So once you finish with the training, like, they don't just throw you out and be like, hey, just some examples of some materials that I got from my trainings. This is the Pound handbook here. And so this is a training guide. It goes through everything that we talked about during the training, everything about the basics of what Pound is, everything that you need to just like get started, all of the moves and positions that we did. So all of that is in here. For Zumba, we got DVDs. So for each one, basic 1, basic 2, gray ones, basic 2, and pro skills. These all have DVDs with all of the different rhythms on them, choreography, ideas, music, that type of thing. And also at my basic 1 Zumba training, we did get a little mini manual here that has a list of songs that we can use, and another DVD about teaching your first class. When you go to your training, you're going to get a lot of information. It's going to be really overwhelming. You're going to forget most of it. Just like being completely honest with you, they teach you as much as possible in one day, and that is so that you have everything, and so that you can go home and go over all of it so you can be ready before you teach your class. And that's why they give you the extra materials and things, so you can go, so you do have that, and so you can go over it. Make sure that a couple of extra notes that I want to go over. General group exercise certification. This is really important. So while you are getting certified in your specific format, you want to have a general group exercise certification as well, because this teaches you just all of the basics of group exercise outside of your format. So when you're getting your group exercise certification, you'll learn about the muscles, you'll learn about different types of workouts, everything about physical fitness, the aspects of physical fitness, those types of things. So this is really important, because when you go to teach at a gym, most of them, more than likely, they will require that you have some type of general group exercise certification on top of your specific format certification. So most places require an ACE or an AFA certification, or there are a ton of other ones you can get. I started out with one from FitTour, because I started teaching at my college, and that's the one that they recommended that we get, because it was not as expensive as ACE and AFA. So the thing about general group exercise certifications is that you will have to get them recertified every couple of years. So I've had the FitTour certification for a couple of years now, but I'm working on the AFA one right now. So another thing that's really important that your gym is going to require that you have is a American Red Cross CPR and first aid certification. So this is important. I mean, I've never had anyone, pass out or anything in my class. Quick funny story. So when I first started teaching, like I said, I started teaching at my college, so most of the people that worked at that gym were students, so they were very hands-on with us there. And so we did our American Red Cross CPR and first aid certification through that gym, and so they were very morbid about it, honestly. Like, they kept saying, this is going to happen, someone's going to pass out in your class, you're going to have to call in a code red, you'd have to call the ambulance, you have to do CPR, all this stuff. Like, I was like, oh my god, I'm going to have to do CPR on someone or something. I've never had anyone, pass out or be hurt or anything in my class. I've never had that happen. Never had to call the ambulance. So but you never know. So it is important to get these. You have to have a CPR first aid certification if you work in any type of gym or physical activity profession. Like if you work in a gym, if you're a personal trainer, even if you're a lifeguard or anything like that, you have to have CPR and first aid. Finally, if you are a student, if you are going to be teaching at your school gym like I did when I first started, use the resources at your gym. At least at my school, our gym, like I said, they were very hands-on. Most of the people that worked at the gym, whether we were group exercise instructors, working at the front desk, anything, like almost everyone that worked at the gym was students. And so, you know, they gave us discounts on a lot of things. We got a very, very steeply discounted CPR first aid. I think we only had to pay like $30 for it. That when they started requiring that all group exercise instructors have a general group exercise certification, they recommended that everyone get Fitor, which was a cheaper option. They didn't require that we have ACE or AFA or anything. And another thing that they might have is they might have trainings at the school for what format you want to teach. Our group exercise coordinator, she was absolutely fantastic, and she was constantly working to get us trainings at the school so we wouldn't have to physically go. And she was always asking, what do you want to teach? You know, and no matter what you want to teach, I will try to get a training here for you. So when I first started teaching pound, as I was a junior in college, our pound instructor was a senior and she was graduating. Our supervisor, she asked me if I wanted to teach. I said yeah. And so she took it upon herself to make sure that we can get a training there at our school that summer. And because I was a student there, she coordinated it so that I could get that certification for free. I paid nothing to get pound certification because I was a student, and because they had the resources at the gym to make sure that I could teach there. And you know, usually they'll have the materials all for you. Once I left the school, I had to buy my own sticks for pound, but they had them there at the school already. They had materials for every other exercise format that they had there. So if you're going to be teaching at a school, absolutely take advantage of the resources because student discounts are real. And so after you've done your training, what you're gonna do is just spend some time putting together your routines or learning the routines if they already have pre-made choreography for you. Find a place to teach at and you're good. I'll make more videos in the future about, you know, finding a gym to work at and teaching your first class and that type of thing. But I feel like this is like, you know, kind of like the first thing to go over, which is like how to become an instructor. Yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I really, really hope that this helped and that this was of some assistance to all of you out there who might be trying to become a group exercise instructor, or if you're just interested in the topic. And if there's anything I missed, or if you have any other advice about becoming an instructor, go ahead and you can comment down below, and let me know what you want the next video to be. So I will talk to you soon. Bye.